Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Let's Play Pathfinder Kingmaker, the long-awaited series on my channel. I've been saying I'm going to get to this game for probably about ever since I finished Wrath of the Righteous, I'm sure. Maybe even before that, before I finished it. But I think it's finally time to start. It's kind of starting to loom over my shoulder now. I want to play it, but every time we get close to a point where I'm ready to sit down and play it, another game comes out. I was about to start playing it when I found out that Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader was coming. So we switched to doing that, and we're still playing that. Currently still going through that. But I figured, why not just get the other Owlcat game we haven't played yet out of the way. We haven't played on the channel. I have played this game before, but it was a while ago. It was like a year before Wrath of the Righteous came out, so 3 years now? Something like that. So it's been a little bit. And it's a really good game, so I'm excited to check it out. Now, this series, I'm not going to sort of promise any sort of consistency in its release. Usually I'm releasing a video every day, but I'm probably not going to be able to do that, doing 2 series at once. So Kingmaker, I'm going to try to have the Kingmaker series come out with a video every other day, at least until Rogue Trader finishes, and then we might go to every day for Kingmaker until the next game comes out, which, to be honest, the next game that I'm thinking of playing, the next big game, not that this isn't a big game, but you know what I mean, like new release kind of game. I am contemplating playing Dragon's Dogma 2 on the channel. I think that could be some good fun. It's a little different than, the CRPGs we've been playing for the last year. But I do enjoy a good action RPG, and I really like Dragon's Dogma 1. But yeah, we're here to play Pathfinder Kingmaker, and I love the music in here. It's such good music. Let's go ahead and start a new game. Now, I have tried to... I actually started this series once before, and we made a character. I think I made a druid. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that again this time, but let's see. All right, so we have 3 scenarios you can play if you're new to this game, which I imagine most of you are going to be returning from previous Let's Plays I've played and are likely already fans of this game. But just in case you're not, you got 3 different scenarios. You got the main story, which is to explore the Stolen Lands, a wild territory that has been contested for centuries. Hundreds of kingdoms have risen and fallen in these lands, and now it is time for you to make your mark by building your own kingdom. To succeed in this, you'll need to survive the harsh wilderness and the menace of rival nations, as well as perils from within your own court. You also got Varnholt's Lot, which we will be doing at the same time as the main story once we get to it. This is kind of like a side story that happens simultaneously once you get to a certain point in the game, which is really cool. While celebrating your victory at Jamandi Aldori's mansion, you met another hero of the Stolen Lands. A little bit spoilery there if you haven't played the game, but I guess you don't really know what any of that means, hopefully. The mercenary captain Magar Varn. While you build your barony in the Strike Hills and the Gnarl Marshes, Varn and his people established their own nation of Varnhold on the plains of Dunsward. What challenges do they face? Play this story, and the main campaign will reflect the consequences of the choices you make. Right, so that last bit there is why you want to do it simultaneously with your main campaign. And then you got Beneath the Stolen Lands, which is, if you watched my Treasures of the Midnight Isles, which is one of my more popular series, surprisingly, considering it's kind of different than everything else I've done, because it's a roguelike or roguelite. I don't know, but it's similar to that. Meet with the self-proclaiming protector of Golarion and discover what secrets lie buried beneath the Stolen Lands, in a shifting labyrinth of madness where nothing is what it seems, complete with new enemies to battle and new treasures to unearth. Defend the lands against one of the most dangerous enemies the world has ever faced. You may begin your descent into the roguelike, tenebrous depths with a new character, or await the invitation from a mysterious protector Galarian as you play through the main story. This dungeon is one of the hardest challenges your party can encounter in the game. Be careful, and good luck to you. Thank you, thank you. So we're going to do the main story. And we are going to do challenging difficulty with one or maybe two differences. We're going to turn Death's Door on. I could probably play this game since it's... I think I've played this game twice before. I've only completed it once, but I got pretty far in the first playthrough. But we're going to go with Death's Doors on. It just makes the Let's Play, the series flows a little better when I'm not, having to do odd jobs and sell herbs and stuff just to afford a revivification scroll to get through the game. And there's another thing. I always like the ability to retrain, yeah. Because one of the great things about the Pathfinder games by Owlcat is just the plethora of builds you can make with your characters, which I really like. So just being able to try new things is always fun. Plus, since this is not my first time through, we might do some experimenting with some of the party members we get, make them into different kinds of classes and stuff. So I want to be able to retrain to get those things right. But everything else is the same here. We don't need the tutorial. Yeah. So this is essentially, if you were playing this game at the table, in the tabletop edition, this would kind of be like what you could expect in terms of difficulty. At least that's what it's supposed to be. All right, so our character. We're going to create a new character. Although I did play around with the idea of maybe doing one of these Premades, because they got little stories to them, which is kind of cool. It could be fun to do. Hedwig here, the fighter. Hedwig the Resolute is a human fighter who is deadly and is flail and he skillfully uses his shield for both attack and defense. An experienced mercenary, Hedwig makes a point of never joining an ignoble cause, no matter how good they pay. He towers over the battlefield like a mountain, protecting his comrades with all his might. Really, he's that tall, huh? I do like... You know what? I kind of want to play one of these guys. Reading this, it's got me kind of excited. I was going to make a custom character, but... I wonder how much customization we'd have if I pick one of these guys, or do I get to do anything with that? Let's see. Do I get to do anything with him? No. Okay, so you get stuck with whatever they make for you. I don't know about that. I mean, we could always, make him, but just, make him as a custom character. Malaku the Deliverer, is a human paladin of Iomade, the goddess of justice. His two-handed sword is a formidable weapon on its own, but with Iomade's blessing, it becomes a devastating tool of retribution, used to bring the forces of evil to justice. Having witnessed too much of the world's malice, Malaku swore to never lay down arms so long as there are innocents to save and wicked to smite. It's pretty cool. Paladins are fun. We've got Valine. The Daring is an elven ranger, a child of the woodlands, who boasts the ability to put an arrow through a squirrel's eye at 100 paces. She prefers the joy of hunting over bloody fights, but while she's never eager to start a conflict, any who would harm her or her friends may find themselves dead before they even know the fight has begun. We got Gimar here, the sorcerer. Gimar the Bright is a human sorcerer with a draconic blood flowing through his veins. Even as a child, he knew a bright future lay ahead of him. An expert in evocation and fire magic, he prefers to keep his distance from enemies, lest he soil his hands with their ashes. When the situation starts to grow dark, Gimar is always ready to lighten things up with a burst of flame from his fingers. And then Yadmila, the cleric. I really like this portrait. This portrait has a lot of character to it, I think. Yadmila the Clement is a halfling cleric of Sarenrae, the sun goddess. Her prayers both heal allies and support them in battle. Among wars, plagues, and other calamities, Yadmila strides like a merciful angel, treating wounds and soothing pain. She is adamant in her goal of bringing her goddess's light to the darkest corners of the world. Alright, well that was fun. We're not going to pick any of them though. Create a new character. Okay, so here are all the original portraits in the game that you could choose from. I really like this one. It's a cool little druid picture. Wait. No. These are... Oh, yeah, I remember. I used to have, like, all of the portraits from, like, all my portrait packs in these. But, I think I got rid of them all. And I picked this guy to be, like, my main character. And obviously, he's a druid. You know what? I'm leaning towards being a druid anyway. We got this wizard guy. We could be one of these guys. We could be Herdwig, who's kind of cool. Let's see. What have we been recently? Gonna try and pick something we haven't been. So we were a bard and a thief in the Baldur's Gate games. Before that, what were we playing? Pillars of Eternity, where we were a cleric. So we haven't really been a martial class in a while. So maybe we should be a martial class. Now you want to be careful, or I guess you don't necessarily need to be careful, but there are some portraits in here, like this one. Right? This is a character in the game. I don't know what happens if you pick this portrait. Like, does his portrait change in the game? That'd be interesting. But we've got this tiefling dude. A dwarf girl. I do think we want to play a man. So let's find a good male portrait. We got a, looks like a magus here. What is this guy? He's kind of just like a aristocrat looking guy, huh? Let's see what else we got. It could be a dwarf warrior. Ooh. That's got some fun ideas in it for me. We could be this paladin dude. We got this guy who's looking a little crazy. I don't really want to be a small race at the moment. An Azamar with a glaive. I do love my glaives. This guy looks a little thief-like. Got the sorcerer dude. And this is another character in the game. I think this guy is too. We have this dude. It looks like a... Oh, I love the sword. Half-orc could be cool. I kind of like this. I kind of like that idea. So this is like a sword lord almost. That could be really cool. Could be interesting. We got this dude looking a little like a noble brat almost. Pretty sure he's a character in the game. So is this guy. And obviously him. This wizard dude could be fun. He's got a nice rapier. And then obviously my druid portrait I imported in. That's a really nice portrait, isn't it? I don't know. I really like the idea of this guy. I think this guy's a character in the game too. Now I'm thinking about it. This guy might be as well. I don't remember. But we're going to go with this guy. We might change. I don't know. Oh, it saw that I was a half-orc. Very nice, very nice. So, yeah, half-orc. He looks a little thin, right? So, maybe body type 4 seems right. Not a ton of customization options in here, as you guys can tell, but... he's got kind of a friendly face. Maybe that one. Yeah, I think that one's good. He's got a light green skin tone, so maybe something like that. Yeah, I think that one's good. Hairstyle, I've got... Let me look at the portrait again. Yeah, okay. I don't have a beard, which is annoying. Probably that one. Hair color's black. We could give him a beard anyway. Not that it really matters. Yeah, we'll go beardless. All right, and what hand was he using? I think he's using his right hand. Yeah. Okay, so he's right-handed, half orc. So half orcs, and I'm not gonna read through all of these. I mean, we got human, elf, dwarf, gnome, halfling, half elf, half orc, Aasimar, and tiefling. So you're pretty standard, sort of fantasy tabletop game classes. Aasimar being, I think, the only one that is sort of special to this game. I know you can be it in Wrath of the Righteous too, but not like not in a lot of your D&D-esque games like Baldur's Gate. You couldn't be an Aasimar. But yeah, of course you don't have the Dragonborn or anything. Anyway, so a half orc gets 2+2 to 1 ability score of your choice. At creation, the character gets 1 or +2 ability to an ability of your choice. Blah blah blah. You get skilled. Half orcs gain an additional skill rank at first level, and 1 additional rank whenever they gain a level. So you get some better skills. Intimidating, half orcs receive a 2 racial bonus to persuasion checks when used to intimidate, due to their fearsome nature. Orc weapon familiarity. Half orcs are proficient with great axes and falchions and treat any weapon with the word orc in its name as a martial weapon. And here's the big thing about being a half orc: orc ferocity. When a half orc is brought below 0 hit points but not killed, he can fight for 1 more round as if disabled. At the end of his next turn, unless brought to above 0 hit points, he immediately falls unconscious. So you get 1 extra turn if you reach 0 hit points. Keen senses. +2 racial bonus on perception checks. A lot of races get this. Half orcs get the worst of both worlds. Still, while not exactly accepted, half orcs in civilized societies tend to be valued for their martial prowess. They are usually forced to grow up hard and fast, constantly fighting for protection, or to make names for themselves. Feared, distrusted, and spat upon, half-orcs still consistently manage to surprise their detractors with great deeds and unexpected wisdom, though sometimes it's easier just to crack a few skulls. Both genders of half-orcs stand between 6 and 7 feet tall, with powerful builds, and greenish or grayish skin. Their canines often grow long enough to protrude from their mouths, and these tusks, combined with heavy brows and slightly pointed ears, give them their notoriously beastly appearance. While half-orcs may be impressive, few ever describe them as beautiful. Well, I'm pretty beautiful. Look at this face. Look at that mug. Alright. I think we're good here. Go on to our class. Alright, so our class. So if we want to follow the portrait, I'm thinking, so I'll read through the classes. I'm not going to go into detail on their descriptions, but I'll read through the possible class options, and then we'll talk about what I want to do. Also, this helps me figure out which ones are available, because it's been a while. So we got the Alchemist, right? And as an Alchemist, you could also be you got the base class, but you could also pick one of these more specialized classes. The base class is kind of like, good at just the class in general, and like I said, these are specialized. So you got the Grenadier, or Grenadier. You've got the Vivisectionist, and you got the Chirurgeon. I like Chirurgeons a lot. Barbarians, you have the Armored Hulk, the Mad Dog, the Invulnerable Ranger. Bard, you've got the Archaeologist, the Thundercaller, and the Flame Dancer. Cleric, you've got the Crusader, the Herald Caller, and the Ecclesiarch, whatever. Druid, you got the Blight Druid, the Defender of the True World, which is a very powerful class in this game, I think, and the Fae Speaker, which is a fun class in this game. Druids in this game, I feel like, are pretty cool based off the main story. You got a Fighter, the Aldori Defender, Tower Shield Specialist, and a two-handed fighter. You've got the Inquisitor. You got the Monster Tactician, Tactical Leader, or the Sacred Huntsmaster. A Kineticist, Dark Elementalist, Psychokineticist, and Kinetic Knight. Kinetic Knights sound cool. You got the Magus, an Eldritch Scion, a Sword Saint, and an Eldritch Archer. a monk, a scaled fist, sensei, traditional monk. I almost played a monk too. But I think monk is, I mean, I did a little bit of research into like what other Let's Players did for their series, and monk was one that I think a couple people have done. Paladin, a divine hunter, a hospitaler, I don't know, divine guardian. A ranger, you got the freebooter, the flame warden, and the storm walker. Rogue, an eldritch scoundrel, knife master, and a thug. The slayer, a vanguard, a deliverer, a spawn slayer. Sorcerer, an imperial sorcerer, sylvan sorcerer, and sage sorcerer. And finally, a wizard with the arcane bomber, Thessalonian specialist, and a scroll savant. And then you got these sort of what would you call these? Your maybe advanced classes, I guess. You get these later on in the game, right? But you got the arcane trickster, the stalwart defender, an eldritch knight, which could be fun, a dragon disciple, also could be fun, mystic thurge, a duelist, and an Aldori sword lord. There we go. All right, so what do we want to be? So based off our portrait, now obviously we could be an armored character, and the portrait's just us outside of our armor, right? So it's not that big of a deal. But based off this blade, right? This looks like a it's almost like a katana. Is it a katana? I can't really tell. It doesn't. The way he's drawing it is kind of strange for a katana, but you know, I guess it probably is a katana based off like the hilt and the pommel, right? Not the pommel, the guard. So for that, I mean, I'm thinking it could be an Aldori defender. Aldori sword lords of Brevoy are among the deadliest and most feared fighters of the Inner Sea. They have spent long years mastering the Aldori dueling sword, pitting themselves against other dueling swords and all manner of weaponry besides. Their speed and reflexes weave a net of impenetrable steel around them, from which they strike and harry their unfortunate opponents. The most common form of Aldori dueling, and arguably the easiest of techniques to master, focuses on avoiding damage and disarming foes. These sword lords prefer to wear light or no armor, trusting their skill for protection. Yeah, so I was thinking of maybe a defender here, and we could potentially then go to the Aldori sword lord here. The sword lords follow no singular path to dueling mastery. Some of those who take up the blade only dabble in its use, while others explore swordplay with the dueling weapon in unconventional ways. Right, so that's something we could try to do, is go down the sword lord path, which I know I was saying I looked at what other Let's Plays did in the past to see, so I don't overlap. I think somebody might have done this. I don't really remember. I do remember the monks, and I know what Ko did because I watched his playthrough when he originally played the game, which he did a master tactician and then a ranger later on, or a monster tactician rather. So the other options that we have, I think, that would fit this portrait: a sword saint. A sword saint spends his life focusing his training and meditation into a rapturous perfection of the use of a single weapon, which is usually, but not always, a sword, channeling his arcane might through it in a dizzying and deadly dance beyond the ability of even the greatest of mundane warriors. Sword saints are really fucking cool. Like, they're really cool. It's probably one of my favorite classes. I remember when we were doing Treasures of the Midnight Isles, I always loved whenever I rolled a sword saint. But maguses, or maguses, whatever you want to call them, I do feel like are one of the harder classes to play. Not necessarily, like, for me anyway. Like, I always forget like the little intricacies of their class. Whereas, you know, if I was just a fighter, it's pretty straightforward, right? You run in, you hit things. And then the other one that I think would fit is some sort of slayer. A skilled at tracking down targets, slayers are consummate hunters living for the chase and the deadly stroke. that brings it to a close. Slayers spend most of their time honing their weapon skills, studying the habits and anatomy of foes, and practicing combat maneuvers. Yeah, probably like they are a little bit more roguey than all the other ones, than the other two I was thinking of. So I think we're not going to do that. So I think it's between an Aldori Defender and a Sword Saint. Okay, so I mean, he kind of looks like an Aldori Defender, doesn't he? Or is that just me? The other thing is I do know there's a party member you do get that is a Magus. I think I say the name every time that's different, but we could always respec him, right, into something else. So I think his class is pretty essential to who he is. But we could respec him without too much problem. Or just have him be a different sort of Magus, or just not bring him with us. I'm kind of leaning towards Sword Saint. Let's go ahead and look at our class progression here. So Sword Saint, you get access to cantrips. Right? These spells are, and cantrips are 0-level spells. You get Detect Magic. So you can detect magical auras of active spells or effects. And then Chosen Weapon. A Sword Saint is proficient in simple weapons and in a single martial or exotic melee weapon of his choice. A Sword Saint is not proficient with armor or shields and suffers normal arcane spell failure chance when casting Magus spells while armored. At first level, a Sword Saint gains weapon focus with his chosen weapon as a bonus feat, which is a nice plus. And then here's the big thing with these guys is Arcane Pool. At first level, the Magus gains a reservoir of mystical arcane energy that he can draw from, or he can draw upon to fuel his powers and enhance his weapon. The Arcane Pool has a number of points equal to half his level, plus his intelligence modifier. The pool refreshes once per day when the Magus prepares his spells. At first level, a Magus can expend 1 point from his Arcane Pool as a swift action to grant any weapon he is holding a +1 enhancement bonus for 1 minute. For every 4 levels beyond first, the weapon gains another 1 +1 enhancement bonus, to a maximum +5 at 7th level. These bonuses can be added to the weapon, stacking with existing weapon enhancements to a maximum of +5. So if you have a +2 weapon, you can add another 3. You can't add 5 to make it a +8. Multiple uses of this ability do not stack with themselves. So you can't use like 2 spell points to give you 2 +2 bonuses. At 5th level, these bonuses can be used to add any of the following weapon properties: Flaming, Flaming Burst, Frost, Icy Burst, Keen, Shock, Shocking Burst, or Speed. Adding these properties consumes an amount of bonus equal to the property's base price modifier. These properties are added to any of the weapon already has, but duplicates do not stack. If the weapon is not magical, at least a +1 enhancement bonus must be added before any other property can be added. These bonuses and properties are decided when the Arcane Pool points is spent and cannot be changed until the next time the Magus uses this ability. These bonuses do not function if the weapon is wielded by anyone other than the Magus. The Magus can only enhance one weapon in this way at one time. If he uses this ability again, the first use immediately ends. So that's sort of the bread and butter, along with this spell combat. At first level, a Magus learns to cast spells and wield his weapon at the same time. This functions much like 2-weapon fighting, but the offhand weapon is a spell that is being cast. To use this ability, the Magus must have one hand free, while wielding a light or one-handed melee weapon in the other hand. As a full round action, he can make all of his attacks with his melee weapon at a -2 penalty. He can also cast any spell from the Magus list with a casting time of 1 standard action. Any attack rolls made as part of this spell also takes this penalty. So you can hit with your melee weapon and cast a spell at the same time. And then Canny Defense. When wearing light or no armor, wielding his chosen weapon, and not using a shield, a Sword Saint adds 1 point of his intelligence bonus, if any, per Magus level, as a dodge bonus to her armor class. So your int bonus goes into your AC. If a Sword Saint is caught flat-footed or otherwise denied her dexterity bonus, she also loses this bonus. Alright, yep. Okay. I think we're gonna go Sword Saint. Reading all that's got me kind of excited. I mean, I do like because the Aldori are a pretty big part of the game, so having an Aldori defender could be good. Let's take a look at the Aldori defender real quick before we make our decision. So you get fighter proficiencies that you're proficient with basically everything, and bonus combat feat at first level and at every right. So fighters get bonus feats, which is nice. So this is sort of the Aldori thing here, right? Bravery. Is this it too? No, it's bonus combat feat. Starting at second level, a fighter gains 1 bonus on will saves against fear. No, this is a fighter thing. Where's my Aldori thing? Whenever he is wearing armor, he reduces the armor check penalty by 1. Right. Oh, I'm not on the right. There we go. I was like, this isn't at all right. Okay, here we go. So the Aldori defender, you get weapon proficiency, dueling sword, and then you get the bonus feats. You still get bravery, but you get this instead of the armor training. Defensive parry. At third level, when a sword lord makes a full attack with a dueling sword, he gains a +1 bonus to AC against melee attacks until the beginning of his next turn. This bonus increases by 1 every 4 levels after third. Alright, so you get AC, bonus to AC there. It doesn't stipulate that you can't be wearing armor. Am I not getting... Yeah, I'm proficient with heavy armor. So can I wear heavy armor? I thought we couldn't, or we wouldn't get like the bonuses. All right, so we don't get as many bonus feats. Like we lose all this big chunk of middle section because we get these things. Right? Yeah. So yeah, defensive parry keeps increasing, but here's the other stuff. Disarming strike at 6th level. When a sword lord successfully disarms an opponent using a dueling sword, the sword lord uses or also deals normal damage to the target, but without the normal strength bonus to damage. And then Steel Net. At 8th level, a sword lord can throw up a blazing wall of steel to defend himself. When fighting defensively with a dueling sword, the sword lord's penalties on all attacks in a round are reduced by 2, and the dodge bonus to AC is increased by 2 for the same round. And then Counter Attack. At 10th level, a sword lord can make an attack of opportunity as an immediate action against an opponent who hits the sword lord with a melee attack, so long as the attacking creature is within the sword lord's reach. I think we're gonna go this. I know I was pretty sold on the Sword Saint. Sorry, I was excited. The Sword Saint before, but I think this fits the look and feel that I'm getting from this portrait. And to be honest, I really like the idea of being an Aldori sword lord. Eventually, and getting this. I wish I could see this stuff. Like, I thought you were able to see it. I guess you can. Okay, through here. I'm pretty sure they can only go up to level 10. Yeah. So we become a sword lord. I don't know if we... I know you can probably do it before level 10. Like, the requirements here... Like, the skill requirements aren't going to be hard. Weapon finesse, dazzling display, and weapon focus dueling sword. We'll have weapon focus dueling sword pretty quickly. I think I'll probably get that at the first feat. And then... So, by the third feat, we could probably do it. So I could probably do it at like level 5, level 6. But I do probably want these things as well. We'll see. We'll see when we get there. We're going to be an Aldori defender. Alright, so next. Let's go ahead and change my my clothing here. So we got red top, black pants. So we'll go here. We've got a red top. And black. I guess it doesn't really matter. Was it the bottoms? No, that's pretty good. That's pretty close. I think it fits pretty well. Yeah. All right. Let's click next. So our skills. So for an Aldori defender, it's recommending Dex and Con. Now I think we also, for Dazzling Display, we also need a certain amount of Charisma, if I'm remembering correctly. But I do think we're gonna put this up to 20. We're gonna go 20 in Dex. Get that done. We'll go 14 in Con and 13 in Wisdom or Charisma. We could dump Intelligence. Don't need to be intelligent and get 14 Charisma. Or do that and get some Strength. Do we really need Strength though if we're gonna go Finesse? It'll probably be useful in the beginning, but I think later on it'll be kind of useless. We'll get Wisdom to get us some better saves. What were the skills we needed for our Dory Sword Lord? Mobility, Persuasion, Knowledge World, and Perception. So mobility, and I think it has to be ranks for those, not like your actual bonus. So we need 3 ranks in mobility. Okay. So we'll go. Ooh, we don't. Ooh, because of our intelligence, that's gonna be difficult to get. Okay. Maybe we won't do that then, and we'll go. Oh no, we don't actually lose any skill points for that. Oh yes, we do. Yeah, we do. Okay. I don't want to dump our Wisdom, because that does affect some of our saving throws, or just one of them. Although maybe we're not very wise. I don't know. We could do that, and we could boost that up, and then we get 3. And then that would be good, because we need Knowledge World as well, and that, and that. Right, it's those 4, right? Yeah. How's that feel? I mean, it doesn't feel great having my Wisdom like that, but I think we'll be okay. And I think that, you know, that'll allow us to get the Sword Lord thing as quickly as possible. Although I don't know if we really need it to be fast. Getting it. But I think that should be okay. Maybe. We also need to take a look at what Charisma we need for Dazzling Display, which we'll probably get soon. Yeah, this is our feat. So let's find Dazzling Display. Dazzling Display. Is it in here? No, so it's going to be down here. Show unavailable. Where is it? Dazzling Display. Dazzling Display. Dazzling Display. Oh, we just need weapon focus. I thought we needed charisma for that too. Oh. Well, okay. Well, never mind then. So we're going to get weapon focus, dueling sword for that. Yeah, and that allows us to get dazzling display. But we're going to get weapon finesse. With a light weapon, elven curved blade, S-stock, or rapier, made for a creature of your size category, you may use your dexterity modifier instead of your strength on attack rolls. Now, I'm pretty sure strength still matters for damage, right? At least, I think there's another feat I can get later on. Maybe. I don't remember. Alright, so in that case, we don't need our charisma to be that high up. In fact, we don't need charisma at all, do we? Or am I crazy? So we could get our wisdom back up, and we could go like... We could dump charisma? I don't really want to dump charisma because we're supposed to be like a leader, right? So I do want charisma. Could go like that. Yeah, we'll go like that. Maybe not the best, but it'll be all right. That'll be all right. Right, so we can still get dazzling display. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. And we'll get another feat next level, so we'll have dazzling display next level. All right. Cool. And then our voice.
I'm always ready.
I'll carve my name onto your flesh.
Strike as one.
This is my path. We cannot be defeated.
The path is clear.
All this waiting bores me.
That's a very orc-sounding voice, huh?
None shall escape! I lead, you follow.
I didn't even break a sweat.
I'll need to review this spell later.
I'm not touching that.
You have no voice.
Let us bide our...
I won't give up.
I shall not falter.
Pious is a pretty good one,
I have no
too.
need for this.
What was I as a... Oh, shit, I forgot my character's name. Barrett?
Strike as one.
Enemy near. The path is clear.
I do kind of like reserved, too.
My skills exceed yours.
You're gonna go reserved. Yeah. My alignment, though. I think... I don't know. I don't really want to be neutral good. We're a pretty ambitious person, right? You know, we were growing up as a half-orc. Life was tough. We had to always fight for what we felt we deserved or wanted. But I don't think we're like evil. I'm gonna go chaotic good. In our name, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I did not plan on a name like usual. The name that keeps popping into my mind for this character is Agronak. So we're gonna do it. Fuck it. Yep. I don't know if that's... I don't remember if that's how you spell it, but... Agronak. Agronak. Am I gonna want to say that for the whole Let's Play? I don't know.
Let us bide our time.
Okay, so here we are. Yeah, it's pretty one-to-one there, I feel like. Pretty good. I think we look pretty good. I think we look pretty damn good. Complete.